Hello and welcome back to Math Videos with Mrs. Rodriguez. This is Module 7, Lesson 13. Today we'll be doing something similar to what we worked on in Lesson 12, except today we'll be working with pounds and ounces, as well as minutes and seconds. I do believe there are some quarts and gallons and feet and inches thrown in on the second page of the problem set. So we will work on those together as we get there. Let's get started with number 1. Looking at, we're given a tape diagram for ounces. Translating ounces. Whoops, of course I forget. And it has technical difficulties. Excuse me for a moment. And we're back. All right, here we have a tape diagram that is showing us 1 pound being divided into smaller pieces of ounces, okay? 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So let's get started on letter A. 1/16 of a pound, that's just one of these, would be 1 ounce. Half of a pound, so here's the half mark. If you want to, you can color all that in. Half of a pound, now you'll remember from lesson 12, you can also think of these two like equivalent fractions. 2 times what equals 16? 8. And then whatever to the bottom, have to do to the top. So it becomes 8/16, which would be 8 ounces, which is confirmed over here in the picture. Love it when it all lines up like that. All right. Then we've got 1/4 of a pound. So if we divide this into fourths, each piece has 4. Okay, I might think of it as well as an equivalent fraction. 4 times what? 4, which I'll do to the top as well. So 4/16 of a pound equals 1/4 of a pound, which equals 4 ounces. Now this next one, 3/4 of a pound, if I know that 1/4 of a pound will equal 4/16, I can use that to my advantage. So 3/4 would be 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. And here I already know that 1/4 equals 4/16. So now I'm going to use those. 4/16 plus 4/16 plus 4/16. So that would be 12/16 and 12 ounces. Use my eraser. If at any time you need to see these numbers longer, you might back up in the video to a place where I didn't erase yet. And pause the video so that you can see the information that you need for just a little bit longer. All right, starting with a clean slate for these last two. 1/8 of a pound. So now I'm looking at eighths. So with 16, that would be divided by 2. So groups of 2. Because 16 divided by 8 equals 2. So here I have 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups of 2. So 8 groups of 2, 2/16. If that didn't make sense to you, remember you can always rely on equivalent fractions. 8 times 2 equals 16. I do that to the top as well. That'll work, folks. All right, letter F. So many 16ths will equal 3/8. So here, you'll remember multiplication and division are opposites. So to change 16 into 8, I need to divide by 2. So whatever I do to the bottom, have to do to the top. So what number divided by 2 will equal 3? 6. So this would be 6/16 of a pound equals 6 ounces. All right, on to number 2. Looks like we got to draw a tape diagram. 2.5 pounds equals 40 ounces. Okay, so here's 1 pound. Here's a second pound. I'm going to label that down here. 1 lb. You'll remember that pounds we say as lb because that actually comes from Spanish with libras. Isn't that super funny? I've always cracked up about that. All right, so now I'm taking each of these pounds and I'm breaking it into 16 pieces. I can just count to double check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pieces. All right, so first I break it in half. Then I break it in fourths. And then each of those fourths I need to turn into 4 pieces. So there's 4. There's 4 more, so that's 8. There's 4 more, that's 12. And 4 more, now we're at 16. I can always count to double check. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, then it says half. So now I need 16. Half of 16 is 8. So I will not use all 16. I'm just going to do 8 more. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I might even label it half a pound. So now I need to double check that this is 14, or excuse me, this is 40. So here I had 16, I already checked that. Here I had 16, and here I had 8. I know because I already checked, okay? So when I add these up, 6 plus 6 plus 8, that is 20. And then 2, 1, and 1 are 4 for 40. Woohoo! All right, I'm really glad for number 3. We don't have to draw that tape diagram. Yeah. Oh, looks like we do coming up in number 4. Oh dear. Well, hey, let's do one thing at a time here, right? Like I was said in class, una cosa a la vez. Here we go. 1/60th of an hour is 1 minute. You're just going here. Okay. Half of an hour would be 30 minutes, which would be 30 over 60. If you need to do that in fractions, it would look like this. 2 times what equals 60? 2 times 30. So whatever the bottom have to do to the top. All right. And then 1/4 of an hour. So 1/4 equals 4 times what equals 60? 15. And then doing the same to the top, 15. So 15/60ths, 15 minutes. Draw a tape diagram to show that 1.5 hours equals 90 minutes. Here we go, folks. So I'm going to label this. This is 1 hour. And then I'm going to label that this is half an hour. All right, here we go. So if I divide it in 2, now that would be 30s. That would be 15s. Each one of these sections would need to be 15 in order to be 60. Each of these sections would be 15 in order for it to be 90. So now I need to divide each of these sections into 15. So first I'm going to divide it into 3s. 15 divided by 3 is 5, so that's pretty simple. I can remember that. Oh, goodness. So that right there is 15 minutes. Okay, so maybe up top I label it as 15. Then I'm going to go with thirds again and then divide them into 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to make 15 more. Thirds and fifths or 15ths. 15 thirds. 15 All right, so that I'm at 60 minutes. Still trying to prove that this is 90. There's another 15, which is 75 minutes. And one last 15, which 15 times 6, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 90 minutes. We survived. Problem number 4. Well, let's move on. All right, this is like the ultimate. We're looking at pounds, ounces, hours, minutes. And further on down, we're looking at yards, feet, gallons, quarts, feet, inches. Here we go. All right, so that one is going to be 1 pound is 16 ounces. My pen is giving up. Don't give up. There we go. 1 pound is 16 ounces plus, now that 1/8 of a pound is going to be how many ounces? So times 2 times 2. So just 2, 16 plus 2 is 18 ounces. I'm going to erase this just so it doesn't get too crowded around here. All right, so then 3 pounds, changing that into ounces. So 3 times 16. And take that over to the side. 3 times 6 is 18. And 4. So here we have 48 equals. Then we have 3/8 of a pound equals how many ounces? Times 2 times 2. So this would be plus 6 equals 54 ounces. And I'm going to erase that. If at any time you need this, please back up in the video, push pause, take a moment to write it down. All right, 5 pounds changed into ounces. That would be 5 times 16 equals, so 16 times 5 is 30. All right, we've got 80 plus 3/4 of a pound equals how many ounces? So times 4 times 4 equals 12. So we have 92 ounces. Whew, you guys keeping up? Am I going too fast? You're probably saying yes right now. Again, a benefit of a video is you can always pause, you can always back up, watch it again. All right, moving on. Here we go. Now we're at 5 pounds. This was 5 pounds and this is 5 pounds. So I'm just going to use this information from over here and say, okay, well, 5 pounds is 80 ounces. Plus, then half a pound. I know 1 pound is 16 ounces. So half a pound would be 8. So 88 ounces. All right, looks like we've done our pounds and ounces section. We're moving on to hours and minutes. 1 hour would be 60 minutes plus 1/4 of an hour. Let's see, 1/4. That now we're working with 60 because there are 60 minutes in an hour. So 4 times 15 equals 60. 1 times 15. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to add that here for 75 minutes. All right, 3 times, there are 60 minutes in each of those hours. 180 plus, and now the half hour will be 30 minutes. 210 minutes. 2 hours will be 120 minutes. I'm getting that by saying 2 times 60. Then 1/4, which I already found up here to be 15. I'm going to borrow my thinking. 120 plus 15 is 135. 5 hours will be 5 times. There are 60 minutes in an hour. This will be 300 plus, and then half an hour will be 30 minutes. So 330 minutes. All right, we survived the hours and minutes section. Looks like now we're working with yards, feet, then gallons and quarts, then feet and inches. Whew, we're doing it all today. Here we go. 3 yards. In each of those yards is 3 feet, so that's 9. And then 1/3 is telling me 1 more foot equals 10 feet. 7 yards. In each of those yards are 3 feet. And then 2/3 yard is 2 more feet. So we have 23. All right, gallons to quarts. There are 4 quarts per gallon. So I'm multiplying by 4 to get 16. Then another half gallon. If I know 4 quarts is 1 gallon, then half a gallon will be 2 quarts. 18 quarts. 6 gallons, we're changing that into quarts, so multiplying by 4. And then plus 3/4 of a gallon, which will be 3 quarts, equals 27 quarts. Whew, we're almost there. 5 feet changed into inches will be 5 times 12 equals 60. 3/4, let's do some thinking over here. In a whole foot, there will be 12 inches. So we are multiplying by 3. That would be plus 9 for 69 inches. Last one. We're almost there. 8 times 12 equals, let's take that over here, 1696. Plus 1/3. Erase, make some room for my thinking. Here we go. All right, 1/3 equals how many inches in that foot? So times 4. Do the same on the top. 4 inches. So here we have 100 inches. Whew. All right, we just did a marathon of conversions. This is lesson 13 of module 7. And I'll say until next time, just like I always do.